Soooo, what's actually going to happen once no one can afford anything anymore? How can companies make money if nobody can afford to buy what they are selling? It can always be worse. Just ask anyone from South Africa. Politicians won't stop until it really hits the absolute bottom. Historically speaking, violent revolution. When the needs of the many are entirely ignored to the unbelievable boon of the very, very few, we usually see violent revolution. Historically speaking, obviously. Honestly, something must be done about the elite. The poor and the middle class are healthy for the economy. They spend money and keep it going through the system. The rich are even helpful because they help fund things. The problem happens when we get the ultra-rich and institutions that hoard wealth, and it is removed from the system. Like a cancer. They provide nothing, just hoard resources. The economy is going to tank when companies can no longer sell their goods. When banks can't sign a mortgage to anyone. When they can't profit on us. The prices go down or they do. I laughed when I read this from a different thread, but when do we start? French Revolution. This is something I contemplate daily. I have a higher degree and salaried position, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Right now, as a fully grown, independent adult, I am considering the possibility of moving in with my parents. Not only can I not afford to buy a house, I can't afford rent at the rate it's going up. The local apartments have been raising people's rent $100,150 every lease renewal. One of my friends got hit with a $400 increase at their lease renewal. Gas is over $5 here. And I don't even live in California. Going to the grocery store for a few basic items will run you $80,100. This is unsustainable. Don't worry, those billionaires and millionaires will start trickling it down to us any day now. We just got notice our homeowners insurance is going away next June. One day later we got notice our dentist is no longer taking our dental insurance because Aetna is now only paying 60% of claims. WTF are we supposed to do under these circumstances? We will live like Eastern Europe or Japan in the 90s. Unless climate issues accelerate or the next war happens, we won't fall much further than that. A prolonged war might lead to things like food and materials rationing. Although that is hard to fathom with our massive industries today. So unless climate change accelerates, it may suck, but the world probably will go on. In 10-20 years things will stabilize. If you are in the US, it will likely be less intense and sooner than 10 years. North America will have it easy comparatively. Well, the middle class isn't gone. It's down from like 60% of the country to like 50% of the country. That is nowhere near gone, just not going in the right direction. Slowly declining is the better diagnosis. The dual income problem is just economics. When most people have dual incomes, the market will adjust to accommodate and then soft require it. Capitalism at its finest. Despite popular belief, home ownership in America hasn't gone down. It's hovered in the mid-60% region since forever. There might be a devil in the details there, in that young people are less likely to own. Maybe? But, regardless, the same relative amounts of people own homes. We are nowhere near rock bottom. We are a very wealthy country that lives in the top 1% of the world in terms of opportunities and comfort. But what can we do to help with the middle class and cost of goods? Support unions? Be intentional about what companies you support and support those who treat their employees humanely. Don't buy cheap stuff because someone was exploited to get it to you. Not a whole lot else you can do. I've been banned from some subreddits for suggesting that violent revolutions typically spark rapid change. So I'd suggest once people can't eat, a violent revolution will spark rapid change. I wonder this too. I know for housing they'll just move to 40, 50, 60 years mortgages. Apartments more people will share rather than housing prices dropping dramatically. Maybe we'll open up more zones for multi-family builds in affordable housing lotteries. For goods people will still buy but take on more debt. Buy value versions or forfeit treat-yourself items. I.e., you don't buy ice cream or chocolate as a treat and stick to the basics. There will be pushes for UBI and raising the minimum wage, but considering the ever-increasing feud in the Gov, I couldn't imagine those conversations going anywhere anytime soon. People will start to steal more and there will be a rise of poorly run small businesses as people figure out more grifts. I know it's bleak, but we've seen throughout history that societies would allow everyone to drown before dismantling their made-up systems. Everything become lower quality. You can still afford things, but in lower quality. Hopefully American Revolution 2 starts before Civil War 2. This is near rock bottom? Are you writing from Burundi? What happens when people can't afford anything is that standard of living falls. That hasn't really happened in the USA over the last 110 years. And it sucks. But compared to much of the world, we're still way ahead. Maybe it's time to head for the hills. And by that I mean move to a lower cost of living state. Historically speaking, when wealth inequality surpasses some point, I don't know what it is specifically, social unrest follows like clockwork. We're approaching that point pretty quickly, and there's a few ways it can go. In Eastern Bloc Europe, groups of people began using alternate currency and just avoided the ruble altogether. It's near impossible to tax bottle caps. Alternatively, separate groups partake in riots individually. Those are the easiest to deal with as they can be crushed fairly easily. Finally, total revolution. Governments have toppled over this exact problem. Conspiracy theory time. Of the three, which is easiest to deal with while still accumulating money? Wouldn't that be a great motive for the powers that be to sow division however they could? The rich will start eating the poor, because what's the use of someone who can't increase your profits? Constantly wondering when we're gonna take a page from France's book and just rip everything down. Fr. The same thing that always happens. Some very powerful people get their heads cut off. I don't know when, but I expect something big.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. TooAfraidToAsk is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.